Black History Month is our opportunity, to celebrate who we are, to express our culture, our love, our pride, our concerns, our frustrations unapologetically. Unapologetically. It is our opportunity, because we're not given many, it is our opportunity to say we love ourselves. That we love being black and we love being beautiful. We love our hair, our nose, our lips. We love the color of our skin. We love the texture of our hair. We love the broadness of our nose and the thickness of our lips. We love the history that we come from, the beauty and the pain that's associated with it. And we love this unapologetically. This is our chance to say that. And it's also our chance to say thank you. Thank you to many people who have paid an ultimate price for us to be here today. Some of us have been in the house so long that we have forgotten what the storm feels like. We have arrived somewhere and we think we did it on our own. I know that many people here believe that they got where they are on their own merits through hard work and industriousness and their amazing resume. But Black History Month is here to remind you that there was a time when people wouldn't even read your resume. That you couldn't be on these stages or be before these people. Black History Month is that opportunity for us to remember that time. And I'm clear, as the mayor of Newark, that Medgar Evers wasn't murdered on his lawn in front of his children and his wife by the Klansman Byron D. Beckwith just so I could hold a position or be called the first Negro in charge of Negro affairs. I'm clear that Fannie Lou Hamer didn't say I'm tired of being sick and tired simply to allow me to frolic in places where they don't want me to be anyway. I know that people were beaten by dogs, beaten and dogs sicked on them, and even were hung from trees. Those things didn't happen so I could make friends at the expense of justice. Martin Luther King wasn't jailed in Alabama, knifed in his chest, shot down in cold blood on a balcony in Memphis so we can bury our heads today. These things didn't happen so we can seek position and not power. Many of us seek position, but we don't seek power. We here this evening in Black History Month to say, as Robeson said, that the power of our demands lie in the fact that what we fight for is right, that it's humane, that it's just. We are here not because we want to just reminisce, but because it's necessary. It's necessary now more than ever before. We are here because we know inequality is not sustainable, that 1% cannot continue to hold the majority of wealth while a growing amount of us struggle to make the words that are written on these glorious documents that they make us read over and over again in school, that we're here to make them real. We're here because millions of us still have not been able to cash that check King spoke of at the March on Washington. Yes, he said that he wanted his kids to be judged by their character, not their skin. He also wanted us to get along, but he also said that he was here to cash a check that was marked insufficient funds, a promissory note that was defaulted on. And today, our community is almost 50 years after his death, we still live in two Americas. Two Americas. Our people in 2017 are still locked in the same cycle of unemployment, poverty, and death that we were locked in 1967. In fact, there are more black men in jail in America today than were slaves at the height of slavery. While this system has found a way to make a megalomaniac and a racist a president of the United States, and are talking about spending $21 billion for a wall to keep people of color out, it has not found the same zeal or will to invest even half of that in jobs and healthcare and training and education and infrastructure, or even reparations for centuries of free work, discrimination, and murder. Millions were willing to overlook hatred for the promise of some economic security, to diminish assault on every principle this country professes to believe, and to reverse the gains of the first African-American president. Millions of people decided that they would rather have a racist than to have freedom. To nominate a bigot and an anti-Semite to oversee the law to allow Jeff Sessions to become the Attorney General, whose swearing in will always be haunted by the words of Coretta Scott King, to make America great again, that ironically America, this country, is only great because millions of us refuse to be slaves, refuse to be second-class citizens, refuse to live under unequal skies, and join with millions of others that have chosen democracy over tyranny and justice over inhumanity and hope over fear. I don't know if America was great when millions of people was in slavery. I don't know if America was great when they pulled Emmett Till's body out of the Tallahatchie River. I don't know if it was great when they found Goodman, Schwerner, and Cheney dead in Mississippi for registering people to vote. I don't know if it was great when they beat Fannie Lou Hamer over the head or they denied us the right to vote. I don't know if America was great when they made children vote or put Japanese in internment camps. I can't imagine how great America was as we hung from the trees in the south of this country. Somebody has to explain to me when America was great before we made it great. And while we're building walls and holding immigrants in airports, I'm reminded by the fact that none of us originated from here. My father used to say if we all went back where we came from, the airports would be crowded. Some of us came here looking for economic freedom. Some came looking for religious freedom. Others came to escape persecution. Some came to unite with their families. Others came as colonists, and some of us came with the colonists, all on the same boat, except some of us were chained to the bottom of it. I didn't come here looking for economic freedom. I didn't come here looking for a job. I didn't come here looking for religious freedom. I represent the only people in this country that came here against their will, as property like sheep or cattle. We didn't come here to settle new lands or explore a new frontier. We didn't come looking for anything. In fact, being here meant the death of our religious freedom. It meant the death of our culture. It meant the death of our names. It meant the death of our humanity. But if we hadn't come here, if we didn't make cotton king, then America wouldn't be king. In fact, by 1860, 60% of America's wealth could be traced back to the institution of enslaving human beings. I know some of you get a little embarrassed when I talk like this. Some of you get a little afraid because people around you might feel a little uncomfortable. Well, we've been uncomfortable for 400 years. And I know Jeff Sessions tweeted out, I looked at his Twitter, and he said, the beginning of Black History Month begins with the 13th Amendment and the freeing of the slaves. He said it marks the beginning of freedom for us. I have to say that, Mr. Sessions, you're wrong. Our history is tied up in the intangible beginnings of this world. The first man, the first sound, the first words, and the first language. Our history is tied up in the movements of people and nations around this globe, that wherever there is life, there is us. Our history is tied up in every single human being's DNA. In every mitochondria DNA, at the base of the DNA, they can trace every human being on this planet back to the continent of Africa, at the bottom of the Old Divide Gorge. I have to say, Mr. Sessions, you're wrong. Our history don't begin with slavery. It begins with the world, with the universe, with the beginning of it all. And as a matter of fact, what you should do, Mr. Sessions, is just say thank you. Thank you for giving you language, for giving you sound, for giving you good music you can dance to, good food you can eat, good movies you can watch. You should just say thank you. In fact, our history is even tied up in America's fight to be free. It's tied up in this Capitol here, Mr. Sessions. It's tied up in Washington, D.C. itself. It wouldn't be no White House if we didn't build it. This history, Mr. Sessions, is inextricably tied up with yours. But you are right about one thing. That is, we were sent into the world out of slavery with no job. No money in our pocket, our families split up, no knowledge of where to go, mostly illiterate, no formal schooling, no land, no horse, no home, and no law to protect us. We were told to fend for ourselves. When there were no schools, we created schools of our own. Hell, Mary McLeod Bethune sold sweet potato pies on the side of the road to build Bethune-Cookman College. Our kids today run away from education. They don't know we had to build our own schools to educate our own selves because they refuse to educate us. They wouldn't let us in their churches, so we formed our own churches. They wouldn't let us in their buildings, so we built our own buildings. We had church in the fields, in the park, in the woods, where we could. They wouldn't give us the Bible. We read it ourselves. Yeah, we had to do this on our own, and it's only God that made us get through centuries of lynching, of Jim Crow, of redlining, of housing and work discrimination, of deep poverty and ongoing hatred. But Mr. Sessions, we are here. They locked up Martin Luther King with his Bible in hand. Young people, I want you to know this. When they locked up Martin Luther King, he had his Bible in his hand in Birmingham. Yes, sir. It was the only thing that he had in his possession. And you know they give you this number when you get locked up, you know that. They give you a number, 46321, whatever it is. And they put that number in his Bible. But they didn't know the God that King prayed to. So when they locked him up, they put his Bible in the property room. But that Bible made its way out of the property room. And the Bible made its way through Jim Crow. It made its way through the Voting Rights Act. It's made its way through segregation. It made its way through poverty. It's made its way through unemployment. It made its way, young people, all the way to the White House. It made its way on that fateful day when the first African-American president was sworn into the United States. Barack Obama put his hand on that same Bible that was with Martin Luther King when he was arrested. They don't know the God that we know. They don't serve the God that we serve. They don't know. That jailer didn't know that he could lock up King, but he couldn't lock up the movement. That he could lock up King, but he couldn't lock up the spirit. That you can arrest the man, but you can't arrest justice. You can arrest the man, but you can't arrest democracy. And so it showed up in the most powerful place, in the most powerful country in the world. What a God that we have. What a God that we serve. We didn't know that same Bible would show up there. We've come a long way, folks, but we have an even longer way to go. And before I sit down, I just want to thank black women. Here's why I'm saying that. Because the overwhelming majority of African American women tried to save this place. Many of them didn't even like Hillary Clinton. But they tried to save us all. They ran to the polls. The grandma, the mama, the daughter, the cousin, the auntie, they grabbed everybody out the house and grabbed some of you slothful Negroes too and brought you to the polls. And tried to get us to vote to make sure this man wasn't the president of the United States. A young child came to me the day after that and said, Mr. Mayor, can you make Hillary Clinton the president? I said, I tried yesterday, dear, it didn't work. So I just want to thank all of the African American women here who understood, who always on the front line. When everybody else is doubtful, they're not sure, or they're going to side with other people, you did the right thing. I thank you for that. And we owe you a debt of gratitude. And while we out here fighting this crazy man, we're going to keep you in mind and say, if we followed your lead, the mother of our families, the mother of civilization, the mother of our community, if we followed your lead, we would never be in this situation in the first place. God bless you.